Can you guess where I am? Look at that. Oxford brown beans. We're in a Streng. Happy place. It has been fastidiously updated, repaired, restored. This is an interesting one. Some good, some not perfect. I wouldn't call it bad though. So let's take a tour. Hi folks, my name is Alister, your host, the Modern Modernist. And first things first, listing agent Patty Delgado with Coldwell Banker. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate you letting me film this house. So first things first, and as far as the tour, let's start with the front door. This is second video in a row with a front door. They got it right. So let's look at it. Why am I so happy about a front door? You'll see. I love this one. Is it mid-mod? Not really. Contemporary? Oh, absolutely. But it's a perfect contemporary door for a mid-mod. Look at that thing. And look. Tiffany blue. It's kind of nice. But you know what I also like? They matched it to the doors. The door number, which is superb. Let's go outside and film the front so you can see what it looks like. This is a carport house, not a garage. And next door, I believe, which I've been looking for it, is the third of the 3 pyramid houses that Streng Brothers built. I'm assuming it is because, well, it's definitely a pyramid, but it doesn't look like the other 2 Streng pyramids that I've seen. But there's not a lot of people building pyramids in Sacramento, so it's pretty cool to have that next door. Something we are going to go over in this video today is those. That is not a Ring doorbell. It is something better, I promise you. And they kept the globe light really nice. I love that. Pebble Dash walkway. They left it in touch, which is kind of nice. Originally, I'm assuming, this kind of has like a terrazzo tile floor, marble. Like, see this? That probably would have been Pebble Dash originally. Not a deal breaker. There's the back of that front door. Look what's above our heads when you walk in the front door. Yes, another globe light. So when you walk in the front door on these homes, straight ahead of me, behind camera, is a living room. To the right, kitchen, bedrooms, dining room, another living room. To our left is a laundry room and the world's biggest pantry that I've ever seen in a Streng home. So let's start there, shall we? So there is the laundry room. And there's actually a fridge freezer in here. The bulb is out on this pantry. Let's see how it looks. There is, these shelves, they go all the way around. There is a ton of space in this closet. Keep note, original cabinets. You'll see what they did in the kitchen. Brand new hot water heater. You can tell they're newer when you start seeing expansion tanks. It's been within about the last 5 or 6 years in Sacramento County that has been required. So that is brand new. I know that for a fact. The roof is also brand new on this house. And there's quite a few other brand new things. But the way they've gone about it is the best way I've seen. If you want to live in a Streng because you like Strengs and you don't mind living in an old house, this is perfect. If you want that mid-mod look but don't want to feel like you're living in an old house, you want some amenities, new stuff, but still looks old, this house checks all those boxes. So for the aficionados and, I don't know, the non-aficionados, but they kind of like, they want to feel that way, it just checks them all. It really does. It's superb. It's brilliantly done. So anyway, so there's our laundry room. And then we're going to go straight to this living room. And you see what I see in this living room. Yep, a very original Streng Brothers Carter Sparks with its mega block fireplace, that hasn't been painted. Like, how cool is that? Carpets are actually new in some of the rooms, which is nice. Windows, they're all new. They are all original. I apologize. All original, which I love. We haven't gone with vinyl or any of that stuff. They are original as is, which is really nice. I love it. And we got the celestial windows. They're all over on this model. They're really nice to see. So let's go have a look. And there's a pool out back too, which is also nicely done, by the way. Let's get to this kitchen. And, well, let's do the elephant in the room. Do you see what I see? Yep. That is a very original, left alone, as it should be, coffin. Thank you. I don't know the seller's name. I haven't met them. I only know the listing agent. Nice job, seller. Really nice job. Most people, I just rip those out, and it just ruins the aesthetic of the whole house. Same with, see all these beams? There they are. Oxford brown. All there. So, appliances. The hood. The stovetop. The refrigerator. And during COVID, GE launched a line of, they launched one oven, double stack for mid-mods, because they were a slightly thinner unit. So they're only 24 inches wide, as opposed to, I think standard now is what, 32, 36, somewhere around there. So there wasn't much to do if you wanted a mid-mod. You had to rip out your kitchen just to get a new oven. So GE came to the rescue. This is one of the newer versions of the new ovens, if that makes sense. So it looks a little bit different than the other ones I've seen. And I like it. It's the latest, greatest. And how do I know it's brand new? Well, two things. A, they left all the protective coating on. It's like on the stove, it's on the hood. They peel it off, but they left it on. But the other thing is, yeah, nothing's rusted on that. That is brand new, kids. Which is kind of nice. So, yes, countertops are all brand new. They did go with marble. I would have gone with Formica because that would be here originally, but they are nicely done. And they've gone with the sharp edge, almost like a Formica, which I like. At least that's a little bit of a nod to the past. But yes, sink, I like that. That is also new. There's a lot of new stuff in this house. Floors, it's your typical mid-mod era. They run the wrong way. They are running this way. They should run with the beams. So you come in the front door and it kicks you out to the back door. Even though the back door in this is a big window, and there's the back door, I would have still have run these floors this way. It is what it is. That's something to fix down the road. Trust me, there's a lot been done on this house. You're gonna have a little extra change because there's not much else you have to do this house other than live here. This fireplace, all right, that. So there's two fireplaces in this house, which I like. That is called a Preway. It's the name of the company. What do they have in common with Streng Brothers? They were in business from 1960 to 1986. By about 1987, done, shut shop, no mas, no more. Same as the Streng Brothers. Irony, I don't know, but still pretty cool. So there we go. All right, this room here off of the kitchen. So let's just get some bearings. There is our kitchen. There is a full dining room, which is nice. And in this room, that's a TV just for staging, but you could put an actual TV there. And there's the back garden pool. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that structure. So not bad. Let's go down the hallway. First up is the hallway, because this home's built on a pad. All the ductwork to solve the issues that Eichler had with ductwork sitting on the roof. It sits below the roof, but above the ceiling in the living space. So your AC is cold in the summer and your heat is hot in the winter. What a novel idea. And so obviously the way you tell this, as we've discussed many times, is in the hallways you do have shorter ceilings. But that's the benefit to keeping cold in summer and hot in the winter. See what I mean by these floors? See, it just makes this hallway seem fat and skinny, or fat and short, rather than it should be long and skinny and just like go to the front of the house. But that's okay. It's a common gripe. We're going to get into this, like I said, with the door camera, vin it. Do the bedrooms, and then we'll talk about it. Both bathrooms have been modified, restored, replaced. I don't know which word you want to use. Updated. There you go. That's a better word. And they're beautiful. They really are brilliant. I did find one thing that's missing. And now that I'm looking, there's two things that are missing, but that's okay. We'll get into it. Here we go. You ready? And I see this common on a shower door in the second bath, non-primary bathroom. And that is doing this barn door style shower door, which I really like. There's the window to the hallway to the front door. So you get some light in this room. See, they kept all the beams. They painted them the right color. This mirror is, I think, is brilliant. Now, as I've discussed before on this channel, I used to be a photographer in the fashion industry. So this heats the mirror, so you never get a foggy mirror. Nice. This is actually connected to the light switch, but this also turns the mirror on and off, like so. This, of course, you got daylight, you got evening, and then there's actually kind of a cool daylight, and there we go. So kind of regular, there's a cool blue, and there's your evening. So for you ladies in the house, when you're doing your makeup, you can match it for daytime, nighttime, evening, wherever you're going. Like I said, when I was in the fashion industry, my makeup artist would have a lamp and do that all the time. That was how it was set up, depending on the catwalk, depending on the lighting, depending on the style of the photo shoot. But it's nice to see it in a house. And that's done the same way in the primary. So there's two. So you're not missing out in the primary bedroom either. These are, so we got 3 bedrooms. Look, I love the light fixtures. Brand new carpet in here. This is nothing. It's a standard bedroom in a Streng home. All the hardware's been replaced. It all matches. See? Just as Carter would have wanted. Aluminum door hinges. Not brass, not painted over. Perfect. Nailed it. It's almost as if the sellers of this house have watched my channel. I doubt they have, but it's kind of funny. Like, they just, there's really nothing missed. It's like innocent mistakes. It really is. I guarantee the flooring was something just not in the budget, and it was here before them, and that's not them. It's not on them at all. So, but oh God, it has been, I mean, fixed, repaired, updated, restored. They are all words that fit this house. They really do. I mean, this is all the original hardware. The pulls. I love the fact in the closets you've got cedar floors. So you don't get smell like your grandmother's house. And you also don't get moths. I don't know why grandmas don't use cedar floors. They always use mothballs. And then they have that kind of grandma smell about them. But see, even down here. And tons of closet space, which I like about Streng Brothers homes. If you ever go on an eye class, there's no storage. And then another, look again, Oxford Brown. Look at these. I love the Celestri windows. Original window frames are in. And then they put one in a closet. It runs out so the aesthetics outside stay the same. And again, look at the closet floor. Oh, it's just, this house just nails everything. For those of you that watch the channel, if you live in a Streng that's been unstrenged, this is your goal. And if you just put a Streng that's unstrenged, this is also your goal. Again, look at these closet floors. And primary bath. You ready? So, what you do is, they have these mirrors connected to the light switches, which I love. And same thing in. There's all of your controls. There's the heat. Cycle through the lights. And if you do want to turn it off, you can. But it's connected to the light switch. So, ironically enough, this bathroom floor runs the right way, front to back. It's kind of funny. But yeah. One's good. Yeah, one less to fix if you buy the house, right? And again, look, see? I love this. Now, primaries in Strengs, you typically just get a shower stall and they put a bathtub in the secondary bathroom. That's just living in a Streng. That's how it's done. Very rarely do you see a tub in a primary on a Streng. I've only done it, well, we're north of 60 videos now, and I've only seen it once. And so these vanities, I love this texture. We saw this again earlier in the week, and they do. They remind me of like a Mercedes-Benz in the 80s, the real tail lights. How this is textured. That one, however, had no legs and it was hanging. This should be. It's the only gripe I have about these bathrooms. So what's missing on the bathrooms? Figure it out yet? Yes, I'm sitting on the toilet. Steve Streng, if you're watching. He always gets a kick out of it when I do that. Anyway. There's no towel holders and no TP roll holders. Just an oversight. I'm sure they have some. But if I was writing the offer and I was your agent, that's something you gotta just, I'd write that in. Can we get some towel holders and TP holder rolls? Because it's one less thing you gotta buy when you move in. That's all. And then while we're on the subject of a good agent, what they look for and what they do, we're going to go to that camera up front, and there's a control pad in the hallway and the sensor for the heating and air in this home. Before that, because I start these videos and have a list in my head because I don't want to be sitting there reading a piece of paper while I'm talking to you. That is the original light fixture. Unfortunately, someone's painted it white. Take that down, strip it. It should be wood, and you see the wood grain. They would have been all down this hallway, but they've put in cans. Not a crime, but I would undo it and put all those back in. And they're actually not that hard to make. So why are we all hot and heavy over Vinet? Do not work for Vinet. This is not a commercial. They're actually really good. They are expensive. It is a subscription service. I did check with the agent. It does roll over to the new owners, so they're not taking this out, which is a good thing. And the benefit to Vinet is it's hardwired into the phone lines. So if your Wi-Fi goes out, your camera system still works. Ring and a lot of the other camera systems cannot say that. Vinet can, but there is a monthly subscription service for that benefit. And it's like a buffet. You just kind of add stuff on, and you can go the full limit, and you can really go nuts. The trick to buying Vinet, ironically enough, about a week ago, I ran into one of their salesmen while I was in a coffee shop, because he noticed I had a realtor's name tag on. That just asked me, because he door knocks. And so he was just curious about finding realtors to network to sell his product, which I don't really work that way. But I will tell you what he told me. Make sure you buy a Vinet system from a salesman that knocks your door. I know you don't answer your doors. I know you don't like door-to-door salespeople. I door knock as a realtor. Oh boy, do I get some fun comments and negative. But it is what it is. I got thick skin. I'll move on to the next one. But it's a lot cheaper. They have the ability to discount. If you buy it through their website, you're paying full whack, full price. Get a salesman on the door. They have actually quite a bit of movement. And I'm not talking 5-10% off either. It's considerable. And then this is like the central keypad, which is what the salesman actually told me about. And then there's a pad that all this connects to, or an electrical box that I'm not sure where it's mounted. I think it's off of the actual electrical panel in the home, but it mounts to that, and all the systems tie into that. Hence, it's hardwired. So unless there's a power cut, and even then, I haven't looked, but I bet you there's a battery backup system. But anyway, and if you had a solar-powered house with a battery backup system, then it's always going to be up. But it ties into the phone lines, not Wi-Fi. So it's consistently always on. Like that camera at the front door is always recording. So, so why is that got to be if you're a good realtor or not, or if you know what to ask for? Make sure when you write the offer that you put that in, that it transfers over. This sale, the way it's set up with the agent, it does transfer over. So if your agent misses it, you're not SOL. It's going to be there for you. But something to consider when it comes to alarms, door cameras. There's plenty of agents out there that have had to buy a new Ring doorbell out of their commission check because they forgot to put that on the offer. It wasn't there. Sellers took it with them. New owners come in. And you'd be amazed how angry people get over a Ring doorbell missing. So there you go, folks. Piece of advice. All right. So let's go take a walk. So I'm fumbling through my pockets because we're going to need a key because we're going to go in that pool house, which is also beautifully done. So there is a couple of steps down out of this, both sliders. So there's the other slider from the living room of the fireplace, and this is the living room sitting area off of the kitchen. And we're going to go. Streng Brothers had a thing. They always included a garden shed, but they put it within the footprint of the house. See? So there is your garden shed. Front door, or the side door, same color as the front door. That door is the wrong door, and I can see it's brand new. So that would be something that's a slight mistake, I think, taste-wise or design-wise. I would do that as a frosted plate glass door because it lets a ton of light in. It's in the back. It's going to be secure. So it's behind a lock gate. But that's what I would have done. So shed. Here's another question or another thing. Again, something you spot as an agent, I'm always looking for. See that? That is freshly laid sod. I can still see the lines. So it hasn't quite rooted yet. But in the garden shed, there's a lawnmower. There's the box. It's relatively new. I would write that in the offer because you're going to be mowing the grass. So otherwise you move your house and you go, right, there's another several $100s to go buy a lawnmower because maybe this is your first home. Maybe you moved here from a townhouse in the city, or you're a renter, you're at an apartment. I don't know what your situation was, but it's all things to consider when you're an agent and you're dealing with clients. Just assume that it's always nice to have a little extras. See that garden fence? That is brand new. So I learned how much that fence cost today. So we're going to do a little contest. Also see how long many of you got to this part in the video. I've done this before. $25 gift card to a coffee shop. If you live in the Sacramento area, it'll be Temple. I like Temple. They're a local business. I like to support them. If you're from far, far away, it's going to be the Green Store because they're just as ubiquitous as McDonald's. So sorry about that. But if you're local to Sac, it'll be Temple. It's $25. How do you win it? How much do you think that fence cost? It goes the whole perimeter. It is brand new. And we'll make it multiple choice. Was it $15,000 for A? B, $26,000? Or C, $40,000? What do you think a garden fence costs? That is clearly not your standard run-of-the-mill, somewhat architectural to the house. There you go. Pick one. First person to answer correctly in the comments, because obviously they're dated, you win. So there we go. Now, again, see, this is why I would have no problem buying this house from this seller, because they have matched that door, again, turquoise, all the way through. There's a lot of thought gone into this, a lot. And see the floors? They run front to back of the main house. So there's 2 rooms we got right. Yeah, we know how I feel about ceiling fans. But after that last video I did, I like it when they make the ceiling fan the same color as the room. It just blends in. So ceiling fans are starting to win me over if they're the same color as the rest of the room. So, paint the ceiling black and we're good. Or put a white ceiling fan in. But look at the size of this room. And I'm really loving couches not pushed to a back wall. And of course, on this back wall where this space is, I put some plants. See, I don't think that one's real, but I would put some plants in here. This is just amazing. This is a really nice little living area, sitting room from the main house. It does have electric. It's so this is nice. This really is a nice little spot. Another thing, as we've discussed before, the ancillaries. They tuck down the side of the house. So look, there's the seating area of the patio. And guess where your AC is? By the way, it's brand new. It's down the side of the house. Perfect. And look at this fence. So for those of you taking a guess, that's a lot of fence. It's a lot of new fence. Pool. That's a heck of a deep end. There is a hot tub at that end. And then behind there where that tree is, that's the pool equipment tucked away behind a fence too. So you're not going to hear it. It's not going to be irritating and get in the way. Something else I learned. See this house? Fresh paint. So nice. They painted it twice. Do you know why they painted it twice? The first color they didn't think matched what would be a Streng. So they redid it. They really put some effort into those house, kids. Yeah, there's some missteps. There's always missteps when you redo stuff, but nothing major. You got a new roof, new furnace, new AC, new hot water heater, fresh paint. Look at that. The door, all the doors, they match. And then, like I said, see next door? I'm pretty certain, I don't know if that's one of the pyramid houses or not. There's definitely a pyramid. So that's some homework I've got to do. Speaking of homework, there's one of you that watches this channel currently needs hinges for a kitchen cabinet. This is going to be a teachable moment for all of you. So these are not original. They would have had this little black plastic little cap that holds a spring. And the plastic fails and then the spring shoots out like a bullet, I've been told. I don't know if they're unobtainium. I have some feelers out there. I'm asking. So Ian, if you're watching this, I'm trying to find your door hinges. or at least find a source where we can get close to some really original stuff. So there we go. And again, so like we talked about, low ceiling, there's the vent. That was just a Streng way to do something better than what Eichler did. And so because we've got these low ceilings, so I'm going to walk in this bedroom. There it is. There's always a vent for the HVAC above the door as you walk in. So what do I think of this house? I think it's absolutely brilliant. It really and truly is. These are clearly the original floors from that the sellers just left in because they did a lot of work to this house. This house isn't cheap. We're just a tick over $1 million. You get a lot for your money, a lot. There's not much to do other than what, maybe get the mower included. And then we've got towel rails, TP holders, but there's really not much. This is a really nice Streng to begin with, and then what they've done is it's just nice. They've made it a nice place to call home. And if you like this but you don't like living in an old house, this is the one to be in. I kid you not. This it's superb. It really is. So yeah, I'm trying to think in my head if I've got all the boxes checked off. I apologize. Like I said, I don't do these videos on notes. I do a little research, walk through my head, and boom, here it is. Same as I really don't edit these videos either. They're all shot one take. So, well, there we go, folks. Patty, thank you so much again. I really do appreciate you letting me film the house. So thank you so much. And if you would like to come tour this house, write an offer, give me a call. I would gladly represent you on the sale. It'll be fun. This would be a fun one to buy. It's not a bad home. You'd be very happy with spending your money on this. So there we go, folks. Once again, my name is Alister, your host, the Modernist. Be good to each other, humans.